Okay, see this question. This question is slightly tricky, but not difficult. You just need to pay a little attention to 3D. A circular disc with a groove along its diameter is placed horizontally. This is your circular disc which has a groove. Okay, and this is placed horizontally. The disc is horizontal. Okay, remember that part. Let's write it over here. Disc is horizontal. My writing is bad. A block of mass 1 kilogram is placed as shown. There's a block in the groove. The coefficient of friction between the block and all surfaces of the groove in contact is mu equal to 2 by 5. We will come to this part. What does it mean by all surfaces of groove? Okay, the disk has an acceleration of 25 meter per second square. Find the acceleration of the block with respect to disk. Okay, so with respect to disk, it's very easy. We just need to draw a pseudo force over here. Okay, we draw a pseudo force over here. Mass of the block m multiplied by the acceleration of the disk a. This is your pseudo force acting. Correct. Now the disk is getting pushed in this direction. So what I can do is I can write the components of the pseudo force in two directions, one along this direction, another in this direction. Okay, so this will be ma cos theta, this will be ma sin theta. Now this ma sin theta will be balanced by a normal force acting over here. Okay, let's call this normal force n1. So this is your groove. Actually, the groove is not visible. The block is not visible anymore. This is your block. Okay. So the block is experiencing pseudo force with respect to disk. Okay. So with respect to disk, the pseudo force has two components: ma sin theta and ma cos theta. So ma sin theta is being balanced by normal force n1. Okay. And ma cos theta is trying to push the block in this direction. Now, as the block will try to move, friction will start acting. But there's a slight problem over here. The block is not in contact with just one surface, but it is actually in contact with the two surfaces. How? Let's try to understand. So, suppose I look at the block from the front. This is my block. Okay, I'm looking at the block from this side. Okay, so this is your block, and the block is in contact with the groove from the three sides. This is one side, this is the bottom, and then I have the third side. Okay, now one side of the groove, or one side of the groove, one wall is applying a force over here. Okay, this wall will apply the force, normal force n1. Okay, this face of the wall of the groove is applying a force, normal force n1 on the block. But at the same time, since gravity is acting downwards mg, so the bottom surface is applying a normal force n2. So this wall is applying normal force n1, this bottom surface is applying normal force n2. If you try to visualize it in 3D, what happens? So this is how it looks like. This is, let's say, the pseudo force ma over here. This is a normal force n1. Actually, I have reversed the direction of normal force. Here I have applied the normal force n1 from left, while here I am applying from the right. Just because, like, how would you show this on the diagram? So ignore that part. Okay. So this is a horizontal normal force because of this pseudo force. Then this is a vertical normal force because of mg. Okay. Now this pseudo force has got two components. The pseudo force has got two components. One along this direction, ma. This angle is wrong. Okay, this will be ma cos theta along the groove, and then we have over here ma sin theta perpendicular to groove. Okay, just like I drew over here. This component is ma cos theta, and this component is ma sin theta. So this is my component along the groove ma cos theta. This is the component perpendicular to groove ma sin theta. Okay, so we will have friction. One friction will be acting in this direction. Okay, because of this surface. One friction is acting on this surface. So I'll write over here actually. So one friction is acting on this surface, F1, and another friction is acting from the bottom, F2. Okay, the wall is applying a friction and the bottom is also applying friction. So the wall is applying friction F1 and the bottom surface is also applying friction F2. So F1 will be mu n1 and F2 will be mu n2. F2 will be mu n2. Correct. So this is what we are getting in our system over here. We have net force, net frictional force opposing the motion of the block F1 plus F2. Okay, so along the groove, what is happening? I have net force ma cos theta minus F1 plus F2. So disk, with respect to disk, the net force is ma cos theta minus F1 plus F2, and this gives me mass into relative acceleration. Okay, so let's put the values one by one. So mass of the block is how much? Or we'll put the values later on. Let's keep it in variable for now. Ma cos theta minus F1 is mu n1, F2 is mu n2 equal to m a relative. Now what are the values of n1 and n2? So along in this direction, n1 is equal to ma sin theta, n1 is equal to ma sin theta, right? N1 is equal to ma sin theta. So I'll write over here ma cos theta minus mu ma sin theta minus mu times what is n2? So n2 will be equal to mg. So minus mu mg equal to m a relative. Okay. So from the equation, mass of the block will get cancelled out. Alright. So now I can put the values and find a relative. So acceleration is given to be 25 meter per second square and mu is 2 by 5. So 25 meter per second square. Theta is given how much? Cos theta 4 by 5, sin theta 3 by 5. Minus 2 by 5 into 25 into sin theta is 3 by 5 minus 2 by 5 into g is 10. This is a relative. Correct. Mu is 2 by 5, cos theta 4 by 5, sin theta 3 by 5. Cos theta, sin theta, mu, okay, and a is 25. So let's subtract the calculation. 5, 25 will cancel out. So here I'll get 5 again. Here I'll get 2. So 5 times 4, 20 minus 6 minus 4 equal to a relative. So the acceleration will be 10 meter per second square. This is the relative acceleration of block with respect to the disk.